Hey, what's going on, everybody? Welcome to What Up Clay's channel. We talk about all kinds of things like how to fix it, build it, maintain it, as well as product review. Tonight I'm going to go do another product review on the electrical tools. I was asked about the electrical tools I use, so I'll go over these ones right here and tell you what I like about each one, the differences. So let's go learn something. And as I mentioned, I used to do a lot of mentioned some other videos, but I used to do a lot of car audio stuff. I used to do it for a living. I did a lot of show cars, a lot of competition cars, and so on. So I use a lot of different types of crimpers, a lot of different types of strippers, and so on. I also do a lot of residential and industrial electrical. So like the maintenance and stuff like that, heavy equipment, whatever. But people ask me, what tools do I use and which ones do I like the most? Do I like the Kleins? Do I like Milwaukee's? Do I like the Blue Points and so on? But first I'll go over the these cutters here. Honestly, I don't know why I bought these things. I was sitting there thinking, okay, you know what, they'd be cool for cutting zip ties, because I do a lot of zip ties and stuff like that. But for a Milwaukee, I think these are the 4822s, 6108s. They're nice. I like them because they have the good solid grips on them. They don't have a tendency to slide on and off if you squeeze things real hard. But then again, you're not supposed to squeeze things hard. These right here, they're $20-something, I think 25, 26 bucks, somewhere around there. I would not recommend these. You can find other brands that are less expensive and they cut better. The main thing I got this for is like zip ties. I have a zip tie here. So when you do a zip tie, you want to be able to snip it off to where it's flush. So look at this here. It's pretty flush. You don't have to pull too hard to cut, but there are some out there that actually do better than that, or just as good for less money. I guess the biggest reason why I got these is because Milwaukee. It looked good hanging on my wall with the rest of my Milwaukee tools with the big red. But you know, I have big hands also. If you're somebody with big hands, you like a bigger grip, I mean, these are good. It has the teeth in here for if you want to pull wire through or pull zip ties. One thing's nice about it is when I want to tighten down a zip tie, I can stick part of the zip tie in there, and then I can just twist it, and it tightens it up real nice. So that makes it nice. And then it has the teeth right here on the edge for reaming out conduit or J boxes, whatever, and taking the burr off it. But yeah, these are the side cutters, or some people call them die side cutters, whatever, wire cutters. Now the next one I'll go over is the strippers over there. These right here are the crimpers. Now these are the Klein 1005s. If you see here, they're for the insulated crimps. They don't have that other nipple right here on the inside. The 1006s, they'll have a nipple like this one here. They'll have it on the inside too, so they'll have two nipples for different gauges, whatever. These here, this one here is the same design. The part number on this one is, I can't read that, what was it, 91 4822 6108. Now when you're looking at crimpers, one thing you want to look at is how often are you crimping. If you're doing a lot of crimps or what have you, you want to make sure that you have one with a long handle, because you want the leverage. You don't want to have to sit there and use short ones, which I did a mistake, and I bought some short ones because they're really cheap back when I first started, and it was really hard to crimp wires. You know, you're over there crimping a couple hundred wires a day, your hand gets real sore. Anyways, you want to be able to, you want the leverage on there to be able to crimp it. Also, you look at the thickness of this here. They're both the same. Handle wise, the handles on them are both about the same length. I mean, if you look at them, they're almost identical. I wouldn't doubt if they're made by the same company. They're just so identical. I mean, the only difference is you see a step here and you don't see a step there, but I mean, yeah. Anyways, you want the end here to be really, really narrow, because if you have it too wide, some of them will have, like the bets, they'll have the jaws, the crimping part will be as wide as this section right here, which is twice as thick as this section. What happens is, more surface to crimp, the more you have to squeeze. Also, if you're doing like a smaller crimps, it gets harder to do that. You end up squeezing the wires and whatever, but some people say that's no big deal. But, well, to me, it was a big deal. But mostly, you want less surface to crimp, because, again, you get a stronger crimp and you don't have to squeeze as hard. Which ones I use more, to be honest with you, it doesn't matter to me. I'll grab whichever one is closest to me. If you have a bigger hand, you'll probably like this one here better, because it has a bigger grip. You can see the thickness and the grips right here. As well as this side, you can see here this one is thicker. Also, with these here, as they get older, the grip has a tendency to slide down. These ones here, because they're so thick and it's a harder material, it feels like I don't think these are going to slide off. It also, if you use it for electrical, it has the ridges on the top here for reaming out conduit or any type of pipe or J box that has a ridge on it or something, a burr from cutting. Yeah, these are crimpers. They're both about the same price. They range in the $20 to $30 range. So yeah, it's a lot of people like this one here because, you know, it's Milwaukee. They look good hanging with the rest of Milwaukee tools, and the handles on them, they match their other electrical style tools. So now we get into the crimpers, because these ones here, huge difference. These right here are Blue Points Mac tools. These two here, I got these, gee whiz, back in probably the early 2000s, late 90s. This one right here is for smaller gauge wires. As you can see, it's from as big as, let's see what they have the gauge here, big as a 22 gauge all the way down to the gauge of nose hairs. It's pretty small, it's 30 gauge. And this one right here goes from a 10 gauge down to a 20 gauge. These, like I said, yeah, Blue Point Mac tools. You can go down and get Klein ones that look almost identical. I mean, they're almost identical. The only difference is between the Kleins and these two is that the Kleins don't have these holes here, and the Kleins will have a blue handle versus a red handle. But I mean, they're the same size and everything else. These are excellent crimpers. They run close to 20 bucks for each one. They cut well, they strip well, they do really good, really good. Then came along the Milwaukees. This one right here is more for the home, because you can see here that's designed for the home wire, more solid core wire. Has this right here for reaming. These right here have a really good jaw if you want to grab wires and pull wires. These for grabbing stuff right here is really cheesy. What I've had a problem with is when sometimes these will bend side to side when you're trying to pull something. They're not very good. These right here are really good. Also for trimming the screws, like the 8/32 and the 6/32s. These right here, screw in where you want it and snip it and it snips real easy. You don't have to like grab with both hands. You do it with one hand, just snip, and it shaves the screws down where you want. It has a good locking system here. The locking system on these, that one doesn't have it. This one here doesn't have it. Looks like they probably broke off. I probably ended up taking off because what happens is they just get in the way. When you're trying to do stuff, they just get in the way. So if I remember right, I just drilled out the rivets and took those off. This one here is more for individual wires. This right here can do individual wires, as you can see right here, the 14 and 12 gauge. This right here does from 18 gauge to 10 gauge. The cutters on these things, I will say that these things are extremely sharp. When you go and you strip wires with these, they will dig into the copper. And I've had people grab these and go, man, these things suck. You can't even strip the wire. I'm pulling as hard as I can. It's not stripping. Well, they dug into the copper, so you just have to relax your hand a little bit, and it slides off. Again, these also have the same teeth on the bottom, same teeth on the top. They have the trimmer for the screws. It has a locking system right here. Works pretty good. Now, the difference with these, which ones you want to use, are these have big handles. If you have big hands, they're great. Problem is, they're big, they're bulky. If that's a problem for you, then you go with these right here for stripping. I mean, these strip great also. Haven't had any issues with them. Had them for over 20 years. I'll still use them. But most of the time for bigger jobs and stuff like that, I'll use these because they're sharper, less effort to cut, strip, so on and so forth. One thing I forgot to mention about the strippers, or about the crimpers. But to finish off with these ones here, these run in like the low 20s. These right here are around 18 bucks, $19. About the same price. You decide which ones work best for you. I mean, if they're all the same size, I would go with Milwaukee's because they're better. They're sharper. They have more features on them, and so on. These right here, if you're just looking for a less expensive one, compact size. I mean, these right here fit in your pocket. You get these for the Klein versions are about 15 bucks. These ones here are like $18, $19. But those are strippers. But as I was saying, one of the differences about the crimpers I want to share was when I'm using them, I usually use it with one hand, right? Because you're holding the crimper, the connector with one hand, and you use these with one. This here, as you can see, if I let go, they drop. I mean, you see right there, they're real loose. These ones here, they don't drop. You have to pull them apart. So, I mean, it's sometimes not big of a deal. You know, you just stick your finger in there. You get used to doing them, but you put your finger in there and open it up. But when you first get them, you have to oil them, and you have to sit here and work them and work them and work them and get them loose. Otherwise, they're pretty stiff, even just going like this. But if you're doing a lot of wires, having to do this every time you go to crimp a wires, it gets pretty old versus just having to open your hand and it automatically goes down. So something to think about. But anyhow, those are the tools I use for wire cutters, wire strippers, so on. If you like this video, you learned something, please hit the like button and subscribe. If you didn't learn anything and you didn't like my video, well, hit the like and subscribe button anyways. But just so you can make fun of all the other my videos. If you have any other questions, comments, whatever, you want to share information, please put it down there in the comments section. Share your knowledge with us. Share what you like and dislike about each one. Anyhow, you guys take care.